we've got the signal. What does the phone do next? When a phone tries to connect, it's found the RF signal, it knows a channel. Okay, we're good. So we move up to layer 2 a bit now. What's the next thing it tries to do? Once it's probed and found the AP, it tries to...
Get the strongest signal.
We'll assume we've got that. We've found the strongest signal. We've chosen the AP that we want to connect to. So now it will try and... Eh? Yeah, well, it's found its SSID that it wants. So we say... What it will do is it will authenticate and associate. Now this authentication that I'm about to talk about is not the radius, not the password. No, no, no. For a client to connect to an access point, it has to authenticate and then associate. Okay? And what the authentication is, it's basically like handshaking to check that you've got the same data rates and I can talk to you and we're talking the same protocols as you mentioned before. We've got the right protocols. That's what the 802.11 authentication is. Okay? Once it's authenticated successfully, as I said, it's not really generally a password thing. It's just the handshaking of the protocols. That's called authentication. Once it's done that, you can associate. Okay? So you cannot associate until you've authenticated. Okay? And a client can be authenticated to a number of APs at once, but it can only be associated to one. So a client can only be associated to one AP, but it might be authenticated to others. It might be ready to move, you know, it might be seeing which is the best. It can authenticate to a few, but it can only associate to one. Okay? So when we spoke of the protocols, that's what that authentication part is. Okay? So let's say it's got, we're talking, I don't know, 802.11G, okay, and the access point's a G access point, and we can understand each other. So we associate. Okay, we're associated. That technically is the end of 802.11. Because once you're associated to an AP, you're on. Layer 2 is there. You have associated to that access point, and we now can talk 802.11. However, just because you're associated to an AP doesn't mean the user is happy. Okay? They still can't connect. Well, that was if it was an open network. Now we come to encryption. We have to, most networks should be encrypted, unless, you know, guest networks or captive portal type of things. But generally, they're encrypted. And generally encrypted with WPA. So, we need our passphrase, our pre-shared key, or the authentication server. So basically, we're still at layer 2. We haven't got to IP address yet, or DNS. We're still at layer 2. We've associated to the AP. Now we're trying to do this is encryption exchange, okay? If it's wrong, that's it. The controller, any wireless controller will kick you off and say, no, you're not allowed. Your encryption doesn't match. Go away. That's the whole point. Okay? But if it matches, it does a four-way key exchange. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain this key exchange. Now we're still at layer 2, remember that. And I hope you are familiar with the 7-layer model. Does anyone not know what I mean when I say the 7-layer model? Is anyone going to admit to not knowing if they didn't know? Who said that? You don't know what I mean? Okay, that's good. I mean, it's good that you said it because there's probably 2 other people that might not know it, and you're the only one who admitted it. So that's good. I mean, is that 7? That's what I mean by... You seen this before?
Yes.
Okay.
Transportation.
Transport.
Session.
I think I've seen this before. I forgot to write it.
Presentation.
Presentation, then application.
That's it. Right. Has everyone seen that?
No.
Years before.
That's okay.
Years before.
It's still around. Well, that's what I was saying before when I said, what is our physical layer for a wireless network? I mean, if something's missing here, the rest is gone. If that's missing, the rest is gone. Okay? You need to build up from the bottom. So the physical layer is the radio. Now, everything we've done so far was a physical layer. The antennas, the frequencies, the radiation pattern, the polarization. That's all about making sure that physical layer is good. Because in a wired network, just plug it in. It's done. It's good. It's easy. But with wireless, we have all these extra things to think about. And that is the fundamental issue currently in the industry, is that IT people who have come from that background of just plug it in and it's there, they never had to think about the physical layer that much. But now we do. And now it's RF. So you've got to learn some radio as well, because wireless networks are only going to get bigger. They're not going to get smaller. Okay?